Brain rot is what happens when your brain gets fed constant novelty for a long time. I'm talking about short videos, notifications, infinite scrolling. This constant overstimulation makes you addicted up to the point where anything slower starts to feel unbearable. The good news? Fixing it is not as hard as you think. And in this video, we are going to focus on the 3 most important actions you can take. The number 1 cause of brain rot is multitasking, which is sometimes presented as a skill, something you should develop in our modern, fast-paced society, but our brains don't work that way. Let me explain. Every time you switch between 2 things, your brain doesn't cleanly jump from one to the other. It drags a little bit of the first task with it, and that residue is what makes the second task feel harder to focus on than it should, because in a certain way, your brain is still dedicating energy to the previous task. Do that switch enough times in a single day, and your brain starts treating constant switching as the default state, so when you finally sit down to do just one thing, it feels unnatural, almost itchy. Have you ever felt like you can't sit still and focus on one single task? A multitasking habit is why it happens. Think about watching a show while scrolling through your phone during dinner. It feels harmless, like you're just relaxing on 2 fronts at once. In reality, you're not fully watching the show, and you're not fully absorbing whatever's on your phone either. You're getting a diluted half version of both. Multiply that by every meal, every commute, every waiting room, and you end up with a brain that's forgotten what it feels like to sit with one single thing for more than a few minutes without reaching for something else. So how do you stop this? In the beginning, it will be hard because you'll have to consciously stop yourself from doing it until it becomes your new normal. Eat without YouTube on. Go for a walk without checking Instagram for once. It feels weird at first, almost like your hands don't know what to do, but that feeling fades within a few days. Again, it's going to be hard initially, but day by day your brain adapts to this new routine and you'll find it easier. Okay, so we got multitasking out of the way, but you could definitely focus on TikTok for 30 minutes straight and mess up your brain anyway. This is why we have to identify the better form of content to consume, which is long-form content. Watching something long is kind of like practice for your attention span, the same way lifting is practice for your muscles. Every minute you spend on a 20-minute video, a podcast, or even a book is time your brain spends holding attention on one continuous thing instead of jumping to something new every few seconds. That's the actual skill multitasking and short-form content wore down, the ability to stay with something long enough to actually process and enjoy it. The mechanism is pretty straightforward. Short-form content trains your brain to expect a new hit of stimulation constantly, so it gets bored the second things slow down, even slightly. Long-form content does the opposite. It forces your attention to stretch across minutes instead of seconds, and each time you finish something long without giving up halfway through, you're reinforcing that your brain can actually handle sustained focus. You don't have to completely eliminate short-form content, even though it would be better to be honest, but try to consume long-form content more often. A podcast on your commute instead of an hour of scrolling clips, one full video instead of jumping between 6 different ones. Over a couple of weeks, sitting through something long will stop feeling like a chore, and you'll actually be able to enjoy it. And finally, let's talk about deep work. This is where everything from the first 2 sections pays off. Deep work means picking one task, putting your phone somewhere you can't see it, closing every extra tab, and giving that one thing your full attention for a set chunk of time. Doesn't need to be complicated or start at 2 hours straight. Even 25 or 30 minutes with zero switching is enough to notice a real difference in how much you get done and how clear your head feels afterward. I believe it is a fundamental aspect of successful people, and it's a skill that's getting more and more rare every day, so implementing it will give you a huge advantage. A simple way to start is picking one block of time, even just once a day, where you commit to a single task with your phone in another room. The first few sessions might feel harder than expected, since your brain is still used to switching constantly, but that discomfort fades fast once the habit sticks. Within a week or 2, this same block of focused time usually starts feeling less like a forced discipline exercise and more like the most productive part of your day. And trust me, your productivity will skyrocket. So those are the fundamentals to fix your brain rot. None of it takes willpower you don't already have. It's just retraining a habit that got built by accident. Give these a real shot for a couple of weeks and you'll notice the difference yourself. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one.